what's up? It's BigJackFilms here, and welcome back to the final installment of the Skull Island vlogs. That is, if they do another season, but let's get to the point. This is episode 8, the final episode of the show, and you're also going to hear my overall thoughts on the series for sort of first full impressions, and eventually down the line I'll probably do a King Kong review on this. So what's the emphasis on the final episode? Well, we have it where our heroes have a plan in action, and that is to lure Kong over to the beach where he can fight the giant squid and finally free them where they can go home and get off Skull Island. So it's very much kind of like the ending to Kong Skull Island where they have to get, you know, the two monsters to fight and everything, even though it wasn't intentional in that one. This one, it is more intentional. And utilizing the previous episode's flashback to establish how to get Kong mad. It's pretty cool stuff. So we have Charlie and Annie and Dog go up to Skull Mountain, to Kong's lair, to grab the necklace that he had from his native friend who died, and then bring it all the way over to the beach where Kong will fight the giant squid. Meanwhile, you have characters like Charlie's dad going after, trying to find him and coming across like a giant centipede, which is pretty cool. A little nod to the Legend of King Kong, which is, I think, really clever. And then you have Mike, who's still sick, and also Annie's mom, still trying to figure out what's going on. And there's one hint of one of the soldiers who says, you know, like the mom says, you have no idea what it's like to lose a child and lose friends and everything, and the soldier's like, I do, actually. Now, what does that imply? Now I'm wondering, I don't know, let me know in the comments, but is that Marine, is that the guy with the glasses who was in Kong Skull Island who was John Goodman's buddy? Let me know if that's the case, because I'm not 100% sure. But to the point, in this one, obviously, you know, they grab the necklace, Kong is mad, and this is actually probably the best Kong's been in the show, and they take him all the way down to the beach, and Annie hands him the necklace, but then Kong is attacked like 3 or 4 times by the giant squid and fights this thing. He never catches a break, and it's a really cool fight. It lasts for like half the episode. And it's really epic, it's really cool, and the effects, the shots, and all that really work to its favor. We get to see a full view of the squid monster, and it is pretty terrifying. Reminds me a lot of, oh, what's that squid character from Gamera? I don't watch Gamera, really, but what's the name of the squid monster? It kind of reminded me of that with a little bit of Biollante. It was a little bit of Godzilla vs. Biollante in terms of visuals. And it's a great fight. It's really cool to see Kong fight this creature. I mean, I'll admit, lately, I've kind of missed Kong fighting other dinosaurs and not just weird creatures. Like, I want him to go back and fight a T-Rex again. I want him to go back and fight even a Ceratopian or something of that nature. I think just all these squid monsters and birds, it's like, can we go back to, like, the good old days where he just did a roundhouse punch to a dinosaur or a Tyrannosaurus? I think that'd be pretty cool. But to the point, there's definitely a lot of fake-outs where this creature's dead, but then comes back, Kong fights it, kills it, then creature comes back, and so on. It happens like 3 times, and I think by the 3rd or 4th time, it does get a little annoying. It's just like, just kill him already. It's ridiculous how indestructible this monster is. But to the point, Kong does defeat the creature, but unfortunately what happens is that there is a massive, the waves and destruction from the fight on the outskirts of the island in the ocean, lead to Dog and Annie getting separated, and the dog gets separated, and then Annie goes into a coma, breaks her leg, and then, I was not expecting this, we cut to the hospital. Annie's in the hospital, her mom's there, and she's asking, oh my god, where's Dog? Where is he? We got separated, what's going on? And the mom's like, you've been here for 2 weeks. And then she goes to look out the window at the hospital, and I guess she's in New York, and that's how our show ends. And honestly, I was just like, wait, what? That's how it ends? I thought this was a one-off show. Are we getting a 2nd season? I have no idea. What is happening? And overall, like, that's the last episode. I think it is overall my favorite episode of the show, but the ending just, what just happened? Why is it important? What did we learn from this? Are you expecting a 2nd season? Is it already a go? Because I mean, I've heard this show's very 50-50. I don't know if it's going to be getting a 2nd season, which would really suck, because I think there is a way you could continue it. But yeah, the last episode, pretty solid. Great action, great monster battles. Kong is fantastic in this. I was a little skeptical with the animation as we were going along, but it's really, I've gotten used to it. It is pretty cool to see King Kong in that anime form, fully realized, and he's fighting monsters and stuff. It's great. So this one is definitely a 9 out of 10. This one's definitely a good one. This is a very solid episode. Now, my overall, first sort of overall thoughts on the show in general. I will say first and foremost that Skull Island is easily the best animated Kong thing I've seen in his 90 years of history. It is the best television show Kong related that I've seen, and that's a major plus because I have dealt with so many shows of Kong that aren't good, and some of them are just god-awful. It is definitely the best thing they have on Netflix outside of the Peter Jackson remake. This is better than Kong King of the Apes. This is better than Kong the Animated Series. This is better than the King Kong show. This is hands down the best animation with the Kong character. Definitely for sure. And the fact that it is part of the MonsterVerse does give it some leeway. I think it is pretty good. I know a lot of people have issues with it. I know a lot of people have issues with the character of Annie and her sort of narcissistic ways or whatever. You know what? I don't really see it much. I think my biggest issue with this show is the pacing. Is that the pacing is way too goddamn long. It makes the Peter Jackson remake Getting to Skull Island look like the original. It just takes like 20 minutes. This, I felt the runtime, and I think stretching it out into 8 episodes was a little bit excessive, like excessive. And this could have been at least an anime movie, at the bare minimum an anime movie. And I just feel like they've padded it too much, and there's a lot of stuff that it does get a little boring and a little bit unprecedented in its pacing. And that's really my only complaint about it. Other than that, it is definitely by far the best animated Kong thing, but in terms of just plot and structure and pace, it is still on narrow with the other shows, and it just... I guess it goes to show that even though this is the best animated Kong television series, whatever, that we've had, it still shows that, I'm sorry, you can't really turn this into a show. You can't turn King Kong into a long-running series without dragging it out, and that's really unfortunate. I have the same problem with the BBC version of The Lost World that has, I think, Bob Hoskins as Challenger, because in that one, they use, obviously, the effects from Walking with Dinosaurs, but it's much like every other Lost World show. They just, or these kind of shows, the pacing's terrible. The pacing's not good, and it's just, this is meant to be like an 1.5 to 2 hour adventure. This is not meant to be a television series. Now, I will admit, they just announced the Apple TV Monarch show with that image of Godzilla. I'm like, okay, if you're going for that amount of money, I'm interested. Just make sure you show enough Godzilla every week to keep us entertained. But in this case, with Kong, like, it's good, but again, it shows that just King Kong does not work on TV for me, unfortunately. As much as I've tried to watch every show imaginable, like, watching King of the Apes, that first pilot movie episode, was enough for me. Believe it or not, I cannot watch the rest of that show. It is so goddamn abysmal. It is so bad. I can't do it. The first episode's enough for me to get the gist, and that's all I need. Kong the Animated Series, I have tried to watch multiple times, and it's just, ugh. I don't get it. I don't understand it. It's very hard to do in this case. King Kong, for me, if it's the MonsterVerse or just one sequel, it works. But outside of that, it doesn't work as a long-running series or franchise for me. You have to basically interpret it the original as much as you can. But overall, with Skull Island, the anime, as it being the best of the television series, it is definitely going to be getting about a 7 out of 10 for me. Like, it's good, it's decent, but as a person who's never favored King Kong for television, it didn't really do it for me, and it is entertaining, but am I gonna watch it again? I'll probably watch it when I do my full-on review at some point, but I'm never ever gonna kind of go back over and over again and watch it, because there's just not it's just not interesting for me. But that's my opinion. What are your thoughts on the Skull Island anime? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you want a second season? Do you want them to fix some stuff from the first season? Let me know. And of course, don't forget to support our Patreon. Just $1 more will get you early access to all of our content, as well as other special features. And tune in this week. Like I said in my Inuyasha vlogs yesterday, I will be going to FANEXPO Canada this weekend, so I will be very busy. I will be trying to get an Inuyasha vlog done after FANEXPO, so at least you guys have something there, because I'm going to be exhausted after that event. But unfortunately, we got nothing to do on Tuesdays now for vlogs, and I don't have another Halloween anime series or whatever to contend with that's pretty short. So I don't know what I'm going to be doing from Tuesdays from now on, but I do thank you all so much for watching the Skull Island vlogs all the way through. I overall had a good time with this show, despite me probably never really going to rewatch it. It was just cool to see more King Kong stuff, more MonsterVerse stuff, and down the line, when Godzilla x Kong comes out, I'll definitely check it out. When this Godzilla show comes out, I'll maybe check it out if I can get Apple TV or whatever. But I had a good time, and I hope you guys did too. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. This is BigJackFilms signing off, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.